What is up everyone, and welcome to one of my very first YouTube videos. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, you probably already know that 2025 was one of my biggest years yet. This year was a time where I did a lot of first time things. You might have saw that recently I just got engaged. I proposed to my girlfriend of 3 years, and next year we're planning to get married. And at the beginning of this year, I quit my job as an exercise physiologist to go all in on my online fitness coaching business and to work part-time for my church. I began and completed a 6-month ministry internship where I worked for my church for free. And I also went on a mission trip for the very first time in the Philippines. So it's fair to say that 2025 was a big year for me. Oh, and also I did go to Japan. And also, the reason why you guys are watching this video, this year I was able to get into the best shape of my life. I lost 20 kilos of fat, got down to 10% body fat, and felt and looked my absolute best. So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you exactly what I did to be able to achieve that. If you're on a fat loss journey, I'm here for it. And in this video, I really just wanna share with you exactly what I did to be able to go from here to here. So let's get into it. So to make things easier, I broke up this video into 3 main sections. Number 1 is where I started and why. I'm gonna be giving you guys a lot of advice about training, nutrition, all that, exactly what I did to lose 20 kilos of fat. But you need to remember that where I started and who I am is very different to where you're at right now. So things might be different. You can take on my advice. It might not work the same for you, or it could work even better for you. Number 2, I'm going to go through exactly what I did, my routine, my mindset, my training, nutrition, and everything in between. This is where I'm going to be giving you practical advice and just straight up advice that I wish I would have received earlier on my fitness journey. Number 3 is going to be about how it changed my life. The person that I was 12 months ago is very different to the person that I am now, and my body is just a byproduct of that. And I'll also be sharing a little bit about what the next few months is going to be like for me. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe and follow along the journey. I'm going to be sharing about my life, the lessons I've learned as an online business owner, as a ministry operations director, and as a Christian just navigating life in his 20s. So if you would like to be a part of the journey, do hit that subscribe button. But other than that, let's get into it. All right, where did I start and why? For me, it was a little bit different. Yes, I was 84 kilos. I was quite heavy, but I actually didn't start heavy. Growing up, I was very skinny. It was actually very hard for me to put on any size, but because of my insecurity of always being called anorexic and being the lightest person in the room, I thought that I just had to gain as much weight as possible. So I trained and I ate and I ate and I ate. I would be eating multiple times in a day, and I did that for years. Long story short, I moved from like 60 kilos in my first year of uni to 84 kilos. And there was a point where I realized that I think I'm just a little bit too heavy. You don't notice it until you look back on the photos and realize that, man, I just got fat. I did the infamous dirty bulk, which I highly recommend nobody to ever do that. And I just gained too much weight. Realizing that it's time to cut, it's time to trim down. I don't like being heavy. I don't like going up the stairs, being out of breath. I need to make a change. Also, as a fitness coach, one of the things I hate to see online are other fitness coaches who are just drilling people, calling people fat, saying that you need to lose weight, but when you see their profile, they themselves struggle with the same thing. They aren't in shape, they say that they work out, but they've got nothing to show for it. I didn't want to be that coach. Actually, when I was 84 kilos, I was training like 4 times in a week, but it didn't look like it. So I wanted to make sure that that wasn't me, that I actually looked like a fitness coach. So me losing weight wasn't just about getting abs. It was more than that. It was actually being confident in myself as a transformation coach and just in myself as a person. I was also in a relationship, and I wanted my partner to be proud of the person that she's with. I wanted that when she showed people who she was dating, who she was with, they'd be like, oh, he's that guy. He's in shape, he's doing well, he loves God, and that she could actually be proud of the person that she's with. So that was my drive, that was my why. Okay, now into the fun stuff, what I did. I'm gonna start off with the training because that's probably the easiest part of it. Believe it or not, my workouts didn't last very long. I was in the gym about 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times in a week lifting for about 45 minutes to an hour. My workout split was pull, push, legs, upper body, legs again. I broke down my legs into 2 different components. The first one was a more squat focused session, focusing on quads and calves. The second leg workout was more on my hamstrings and my glutes, focusing on a more hinge movement. I really didn't like leg day, so I broke it up so I didn't have to be in there for very long. It was only for about 30 to 40 minutes I was working out doing legs. My goal was that I really wanted to get abs, so I was pretty much doing abs at the end of every single workout. My shoulders were my strong point, so I didn't really train my shoulders too much, maybe once, a little bit twice in a week, but that was my split. And then I focused a little bit more on cardio. Cardio was very simple, but it wasn't easy. I aimed to get 400 calories burned intentionally. So I would either be on the treadmill or I'll be on the Stairmaster, and as long as I hit 400 calories accumulatively, that's what I did. Was I perfect every single day? No, I would say that I was only 60%, but that's what I tried doing. In terms of nutrition, it was very simple. I was actually working with a coach. He gave me a nutrition plan, very lean cuts of meat, but one of the main changes I made with my diet was having a high fiber diet. Fiber essentially slows down your digestion. It keeps you feeling full, so you're not battling all these cravings so much. One thing that I made sure to get on top of as well was that I wasn't deficient in anything. For some people that get severe cravings, a lot of the times it's actually because of a nutritional deficiency and your body is actually asking for something. That could be magnesium, calcium, vitamin D, iron. I recommend getting a blood test and seeing where you're deficient at, and then making sure that your nutrition plan is adjusted for that. In terms of my calorie intake, I started at 2,360 calories, and then I tapered down to about 2,100 calories. Okay, but before I get too ahead of myself, I'll give you a bit of a timeline of how everything looked like. I wasn't tracking my calories straight away, so it took me 9 months to get down from 84 kilos to 64 kilos. In the first, I would say 5 months, I didn't track a single calorie. I was just making sure that I was avoiding unhealthy food, all these fried food, fast food. I would cut out on major desserts. Like, I wasn't really a big sweets person anyway. So at birthday parties, instead of having dessert, I would just be talking and socializing with people. I was never a big fan of it, so I cut it out, but that's not to say that you can't have some. Again, was I perfect? No. But seriously, just for 5 months, I was just focusing on hitting my protein goal. So I was tracking my protein, but everything else was kind of just free reign. I made sure I did a little bit more cardio, my training was in check, but in terms of my nutrition, not tracking a single calorie, just making sure I was intuitively eating my protein intake, which was 2 grams per kilo of body weight every single day, and reducing the carbs and fats where I can. Not the best, most calculated approach, because what's not measured is not managed, but it worked for me in the first few months, and I was able to lose, I think, 15 kilos. Again, do I recommend this? No. Calculate, make sure you're doing things right. This is just what I did. After those 5 months, I've kind of hit a plateau. I wasn't losing any weight, and that happened for about 1 to 2 months. I was getting confused and frustrated, but looking back at it, I wasn't tracking my calories, so I don't know why I was. So after hitting that plateau for a while, I started working with a coach to really get me into that next level. Me making that investment into my coach really made me switch on and be like, okay, I need to lock in. I don't want to fail my coach. I don't want to fail myself. I don't want to waste the investment that I made. So I did a 12-week program with him, and in the first 6 weeks, we absolutely ripped. We were able to do this in just 5.5 weeks. The most important aspect when you're in a fat loss journey is going to be your mindset. And the type of mindset that I gave to my coach was all about going above and beyond. If he told me to do 10,000 steps, I would do 12, 13, 14,000. With my training and nutrition, I made sure I followed it to a T. I did everything perfectly and really just tried to give my absolute best. And did I do this for 12 weeks? No, I didn't even do it for a third of the time. If you followed my Behind the Cut series on Instagram, I locked in properly for only 3 weeks. The 4th week, I started going out, eating again, being a little bit more intuitive with my eating, but I still lost weight because I understood calorie banking, my nutrient partitioning was better, my metabolism was changing. If you don't know what nutrient partitioning is, essentially when we eat food, our body will do with that food 1 or 2 things. One is use it as stored energy or use it as current energy. When you are at a high body fat percentage, it will likely go towards more utilization for storage. If you are at a leaner body fat percentage and regularly active, your body is going to be like, all right, we need to be readily available to use this energy for something. So nutrient partitioning is very important. As you lose body fat and build lean muscle tissue, your metabolism starts to change. The way you respond to food just becomes different. And I got to that point. That's why I was able to still eat over 2,000 calories, go out with friends, eat whatever I want, and still lose weight. It's because I built that solid base foundation. In terms of my lifestyle and my environment, something that really helped was that I had my brother-in-law, well, my future brother-in-law, on the exact same journey with me. And it really helps when you have someone who's on the same goal as you. You get to keep each other in check, and you get to have that extra motivation towards one another. In terms of my lifestyle, honestly, on weekends, I was still going out with friends. I was just being a little bit more mindful with my eating. I would order leaner cuts of food. food, or sometimes I wouldn't even eat out with my friends, but I would be there, order a drink, and just socialize with people. And after doing this for a few weeks, I realized that my life changed significantly. My mindset was completely different. So now getting into section 3 about how did this change my life, here are the main things that I noticed. First of all, my discipline just skyrocketed. I was extremely productive. I had less brain fog. I wouldn't hit snooze, and I would be a little bit more disciplined naturally in my day-to-day. What I give credit to was the ability to say no to things. When you're able to say no to ultra-processed food, highly addicted, bad, unhealthy junk, and say, I'm going to choose to eat something healthy instead, you are teaching your brain a powerful skill, a powerful habit, and that is saying no to things that you shouldn't be doing. So me saying no to food translated to other areas of my life. I was saying no to unhealthy, addictive behaviors, saying no to procrastinating, being lazy, and ultimately that just made my life so much better. I was so much more productive, and because of that, my business actually scaled 3 times. I was earning 3 times my monthly income for the first time. And this is why I encourage everyone at least one time in their life to do a proper cut, because it's not just about the physical, it's not just about getting abs, looking aesthetic, yes, getting compliments and all that, but really it's the mindset that elevates your life 10 times. I started feeling insanely more confident. My clothes were just fitting so much better. Like, I genuinely didn't need to focus on any of this designer clothes. Like, if it was fitted, that was good enough for me. I felt confident wearing it. It's how the saying goes of it's not about what you wear, it's how you wear it. So now, giving a little bit of context with all of this, I finished this cut a few months back. Since then, I went in a 3-week spiral of just eating whatever I want. In one night, I had 16 Krispy Kreme donuts just because I could. And I wasn't tracking any calories. I was having Thai food, Indian food. I kind of just binged for 3 weeks because I knew that I was going to Japan and I just wanted to experience food. And in Japan, it was Family Mart, 7-Eleven food, and of course, eating at the best restaurant. Udon, ramen, abura soba, anything you can think of, I had it multiple times. While coming back, I knew I needed to get into a mini cut. Spent 3 weeks losing 4 kilos and I was back exactly where I was before. I didn't need to lose another 15 to 20 kilos because I built that base physique. I know where I need to be. And if I want to spend weeks, even months just eating whatever I want, I know that I can get back down just like that. It's kind of just like a switch in your mind where you can just switch on, get back locked in. You know that you've done it before, which means second time around it's actually going to be easier because your body's been used to that. And now it's just about maintaining the way you want to look for life. So where am I at now? Where am I going to be? I'm currently sitting at the same weight where I was before at 64.8 kilos. And now I'm just focusing on a lean bulk. I want to maintain my leanness whilst building muscle. So I'm not going to be splurging out so much. I'm going to be using the systems, using the protocols I know of calorie banking, doing my cardio, fasting, so I can maintain my physique and build muscle the proper way. So this coming year, I know is going to be a huge year for me. In a few months, I'm going to be getting married. So I want to be in the absolute best shape that I can be. And not just physically, but in all aspects of my life. I want to make sure that I'm the right man spiritually to lead my wife in marriage, to set myself up financially and just navigate through my 20s the way that God intended me to. So this coming year is going to be a lot of fun, building my business, getting married, transforming the lives of so many people in the JLM movement team. So if you want to see the journey, if you want to see the lifestyle, I'm going to be doing multiple days in the life, teaching videos on nutrition, training, all that, and all the trials and the wins that I achieved living life in my 20s. And down the line, I would love to talk more about my faith, the things that I learned working for my church as a volunteer, learning things like how to teach the Bible, and really just having a lot of fun living my life for God. So thank you again for being a part of the journey so far, and I will see you in the next one.